Are you thinking about a building project? Before you break ground or even break the news, there are five essential steps you can't afford to skip. If your church or nonprofit is planning a building project, you're probably feeling both excited and a little overwhelmed. It's a big step, one that can expand your impact, but it also carries some serious financial and operational weight. So before you break ground or even break the news, let's talk about five key things that will help you move forward wisely and confidently. Number one, start with your financial foundation. The first thing I always ask is simple. What do your reserves or emergency fund look like? A healthy organization should maintain an emergency fund covering at least 3 to 6 months of operating expenses. But when you're considering a major project, I actually recommend getting closer to 6 months. You see, a strong reserve isn't just a financial cushion, it's a sign of stability and stewardship. It tells lenders, donors, and your board that your organization can sustain itself through the demands of construction, fundraising, and those unexpected costs. Number two, do your due diligence. It's easy to fall in love with the idea of a new building, especially when space feels tight and your growth seems to demand it. But before you commit, take time for a feasibility assessment. Ask, what new opportunities could this project truly create? And what would it cost to operate once it's built? And will it expand our capacity enough to justify those costs? See, I once worked with a nonprofit that rented an event center and was convinced that owning their own facility would save them money. But when we analyzed the cost and the projected revenue, it became clear that there was no financial advantage at all. They were actually better off staying where they were. The same principle applies to churches. Sometimes instead of building a new sanctuary, the wiser move is adding another service or rethinking how you use your current space. I know it's not what we want to do, but that due diligence phase can help you make all the difference in your decisions. That can be the difference between momentum building and building unnecessary debt that later on will devour your mission. Number three, evaluate funding options and timing. Next, we want to take a close look at your financial position. Do you actually have borrowing capacity? And could you realistically raise funds through a campaign? And another question would be, what's the timeline for both your fundraising and your financing? Mapping those details out early helps you understand what's feasible and what should happen first. It's far better to slow down now than to move forward prematurely and find yourself in a high risk position later on. Number four, keep the early stage private. One of the biggest mistakes that I have seen is going public with the announcement too soon. See, when excitement runs high, it's tempting to share that vision right away. But if you announce before your due diligence is complete, or even before your funding and financing are secured, you can end up feeling obligated to move forward even when the numbers don't make sense. I've seen churches take on a risky debt simply because they didn't want to appear to change course. Yeah, it's a hard situation to be in. So keep your discernment phase private until the project is truly viable. I think about the scripture in Luke 14:28. It says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? There's great wisdom in that scripture. Number five is assess your long-term readiness. So finally, take a look at your organization's financial health ratios. With our fractional CFO clients, we use a set of nonprofit financial ratios to help objectively gauge the financial health of a church or a nonprofit, no matter how big or how small. These ratios serve as a diagnostic tool to help boards and leaders evaluate not just whether a project is possible, but whether it's wise. If you want to learn more about these ratios, you can check out the YouTube playlist linked in the corner, and you'll also find it down below in the description at the end of this video. It walks you through each ratio and how it applies to your organization's financial stability. Now, if your ratios aren't where they should be yet, that doesn't mean no, it simply means not yet. We want you to move forward with confidence. Building projects can be incredible catalysts for growth, but they can also become heavy burdens if started too soon. The goal isn't just to build something new, it's to build something sustainable. So take time to do your due diligence, to strengthen your reserves, and seek wise counsel before you make any commitments. And if you're not sure where to start, well, we'd love to help. You can download our free guide, 5 Steps for Nonprofit Leaders to Thrive, using the link below in the description. It's a great starting point for building a healthy financial foundation. And if your church or nonprofit is preparing for a major financial decision, whether that's a building project, purchasing land, or even taking on long term debt, these are the exact kinds of strategic decisions that our team is passionate about supporting and empowering. As fractional CFOs, we help churches and nonprofits create more resources to do more good. We help to translate vision into an attainable financial reality, and we help you make strategic decisions that are based on real time, actionable data. To share your mission with us and start the conversation, visit teresaclark.com/you or click the link in the description of this video. We look forward to serving you.